Welcome to Global Morning.
Death toll from flooding.
Most time our politicians just bring in policies too, for sure. If you don't say we have some more stories.
The legislature was carefully crafted to
22.2% inflation rates as of April this year. What does that say about where we are as a country?
I think Nigeria has resorted to being resilient.
Before you call the police station, before they even leave, they take permission from
I don't think there's really anything on ground to improve.
the struggle, the ASU strike.
Minister of Education volunteered and said, give me 2 weeks.
It was a lie. The president never gave me any deadline.
Hello and welcome to the program Global Morning Weekend. It's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful day. I am Jumai Manson. Hope you've well rested from the Friday and now the weekend. It has to do with weddings. It has to do with celebrations. And let's not forget that it was Easter Friday yesterday and the celebration continues. And in that process, there's public holidays. I'm guessing you are relaxed in your living room and you are watching me at about this time. And don't forget that on Global Morning, we'll be going through the briefly newspaper review, but at the same time, do not forget the reason for Easter celebration. It's a time to show love and care to loved ones. It's a time to, share and just be there. And at the same time, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu has urged Nigerians to remain hopeful and united as a nation as we celebrate Easter. Now, drawing a parallel between the resurrection of Jesus Christ and Nigerians' journey towards peace and prosperity, in his Easter message yesterday, Tinubu described the season as celebration of Jesus Christ, crucifixion and resurrection, and the cornerstone of the Christian faith. Now, he called on all Nigerians to reflect the values of sacrifice, redemption, love, and hope. Now, especially in the face of the ongoing national challenges in which we're facing. So, despite all of the hike in tariff, despite unemployment, despite high cost of transportation, inflation, just remain hopeful and remember that love, hope, especially in this ongoing national challenges. Be hopeful and do not go overboard. You shouldn't. It's not a people's pleaser affair. Just live within your budget, within your means, and everything will be fine. But just relax and have an amazing time and thank God for life, which is very, very important. And now, still on President Bola Tinubu, he continues to direct the nation's affairs from Europe, despite not being in the country at about this time, but is outside the country for, nearly 2 weeks. And of course, in the statement signed by his special advisor, Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, he explained that the president who traveled from Paris to London over the weekend remains fully engaged in Nigerians' governance, and so know that wherever he is around the world, he is still involved and still remains engaged in whatever is happening in Nigeria, and is in constant communication with key government officials. Now, the special advisor, Bayo Onanuga, also said that the president had given directive to security chiefs to address emerging threats in some parts of the country. Of course, we know what's been happening in some part of the country, like Benue State, unfortunately, and of course Plateau State, Bokos, and all of those terrains. It's just unfortunate that that's what it is in Nigeria, but I'm sure with all the service chiefs, all hands on deck, the situation will be doused. And it's a time for you to just relax and know that once there is life, there is hope. Be positive. Despite the ongoing political tussles, crises here and there, just be hopeful and know that everything will be fine. And at the end of the tunnel, there is light. Let's quickly go on a very, very quick break and then, of course, move over to the newspaper review segment. Do not go anywhere. It's Global Morning Weekend. Just sit back, relax. The program continues shortly. Stay tuned. You are welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, what were you doing all this while? This is Global Morning Weekend. Well, you are welcome back. And now this is the paper review segment. Let's be abreast with what is happening throughout the country. And I will be starting with the Saturday Punch newspaper. And here, beside the nameplate of the Saturday Punch newspaper, it says, Fairy tale, Iyabo Ojo's daughter marries Tanzanian bro in fairy tale wedding, an amazing wedding that happened. Of course, a lot of people were talking about it. That's the entertainment side of the newspaper on Saturday Punch. And then below the nameplate it says, pastors knock Ibiome over controversial sermon. And you can find that read on page 7 on the Saturday Punch. And here it says, inside Plateau's killing fields of horror. Unfortunate incident there. Whatever it is, every life matters. It doesn't matter even if it's just one or two. Every life matters. It's just unfortunate what is happening at the moment in Plateau, and the killings. It is horrific. And I pray that the needful is done as soon as possible to bring calmness and succor to that particular state. And the Star story there says how CBEC promoters use EFCC CAC certificates to deceive 600,000 investors. And of course, we know that the CBEC is a sham. Of course, talking about all of these issues of these individuals that come into the country and portray themselves. You can put in 100,000 naira and get 2 million naira. Of course, we know that it's all a hoax. And then the writer there says, government clearance certificates convinced us. And that's some of the investors there. Top Nigerians lose money as greed fuels property sales. Now, it's unfortunate, I was discussing with my co-host yesterday, Friday Tag Team, and I said the reason why most Nigerians run into such offers is because of what it is now, the reality of the hardship that is ongoing in the country, the reality of unemployment, the reality of a lot of people want to leave. It doesn't matter whether you tell them things, they've made up their minds that the fastest way out is making this sort of money. And it's just unfortunate that it's the fastest way. At the same time, it's the destructive way, because a lot of people have lost a lot of money in this process. And then still on the Saturday Punch on page 5, it says, why I may relocate to Nigeria, American salesman married to Cross River woman. Okay, can you imagine? A lot of people, they say different strokes for different folks. A lot of people want to jackpot to America, and then an American wants to come to Nigeria. Of course, we just wonder, we say to ourselves, this in the Pigeon Palace, they say it's not balanced, but let's see. My aunt filmed while her husband raped her for 8 months, and that's a domestic worker. She's a liar, says aunt. Unfortunately, why would someone come out to the public and say such if it's not true? I think the necessary investigations should be done. It's just unfortunate that these sort of things, this sort of maltreatment happens, especially to domestic workers. And when you see, I'm not justifying domestic workers, no please. I am not in support where they maltreat the employer's children, or they try to poison or do a lot of ill treatment to these individuals. But sometimes you wonder, why do these domestic workers act the way they do? Because some would tell you it's no justification that once they are being punished by their employers, they have to go about and deal with the children, or because you hear disgusting things that they do. Some will use I don't want to mention, to make stew, it is just unfortunate what they do. Some will actually do a lot of things on children. I watched some very horrific social media clip. It was so emotional for me what that domestic worker did to that child. It's no justification. I feel, for me, let God be the one to judge. I think that's the best thing than for these individuals to suffer in the hands of their employees, and then the domestic worker goes behind to take revenge. They do that a lot, but I think the needful should be done. Rape is a very serious issue and should not be taken lightly. No, never. So at the same time, there should be a balance. that's why some of these domestic workers react and they do these sort of things, because they are not treated well. For as much as you're paying them, I understand, but they're not animals, they're human beings. So individuals out there should, especially those that have domestic workers, treat them as human beings, and you'll be surprised how you will get great value from them. There's some amazing domestic workers who treat you as family, so I think such should be done. But this case that has to do with rape, it's a very serious issue and should not be taken lightly. And of course, still on the Saturday Punch, it says, my daughter's ex-boyfriend married her ritual. That's a Lagos mother. Unfortunate there. They say, train the child in the way of the Lord, and when he or she grows up, he won't depart. And that's the thing. Most Nigerians, I'm not justifying what the daughter did, but at the same time, we're too busy. A lot of parents are too busy that we don't even check on the children anymore. We cannot even, because some kids now, some children, especially the Gen Z people, or I keep saying Gen Z people, sorry, some children actually are the breadwinners in their homes when it comes to taking care of their fathers, their mothers, and their parents do not ask them questions. They feel as long as he or she brings in the money, he's like the sole provider. No, he is not. No, she's not. As long as that child, he is still a child. It doesn't matter. You must stand your foot ground. And that is why it's important that parents should be engaged in their children's activities. Know everything. You're not being nosy, but that's why you should have that conversation. It's very important. And being strict. I always say back in the day is different from now. The parenting back in the day is way different from now. So parents have to adjust, and that's the truth. Being strict, or it's not going to help. For you not to lose those children or that child, you have to draw them close. So it's very important that you get involved so that when you advise them, they will take it to heart. Very important. And here it says fasting increased. Okay, UL is always very controversial. She said fasting increased her sex drive. Can you beat that? All right, UL, way to go. And here it says, fresh attack claimed 34 lives as new terror group emerges. And you say to yourself, what is happening? And we're not done with one, and another terror group emerges and comes up. Well, we just pray that everything is controlled with immediate effect. And the next paper is This Day newspaper. And above the nameplate it says, Farouk Aliyu attacks El-Rufai as Masari al-Makura, 21 CPC chiefs back Tinubu. And the writer there says, Barau canvasses support for president, says he's laying foundation for Nigerians' prosperity. And you can find that read on page 40 of This Day newspaper. Please go out and get yourself a copy. You will not regret it. And then it says, in landmark ruling, UK Supreme Court says trans women not legally women. Of course, like, I do not understand. Is there supposed to be, I'm just in the middle. It's just like I'm African, and you know how it is. We do not succumb to such. If you're wondering, trans, when a male thinks that he's female, at the same time dress up in female clothing, the hair, the makeup, and all of that. So sometimes in their minds they feel that they're women. But the UK now is saying, the ruling of the UK Supreme Court says trans women, no, you are not. You're not legally women. You're still male. You still have the male parts, and you're not transgender. Transgender is different from trans. Transgender are the ones that go out and they completely change their male anatomy to female. But the transgender women, that's where you see trans queens and all of that. They decide on their own. Okay, sorry, I'm mixing them up. Trans are the same. They actually change their anatomy from male to female. And so now the UK Supreme Court is saying, no, you're still male. It doesn't matter whether you do all of that, you're still. So I'm mixing them with dragon queens. No, they're not. So at the same time, well, I guess people are becoming to be woke when it comes to issues like this. And of course, on the Star Story, there says Nigerian's Foreign Minister Yusuf Tuggar in holistic visit to Niger Republic. And you can find that read on page 8 of this day newspaper. Mufwang in state broadcast says fear won't overrun Plateau with all of these issues of killings, brutal killings, not just killing, brutal killings. A whole village has been raised by these individuals. And Mufwang is coming out and saying fear won't overrun Plateau, so fear will not take over the ambience and what is happening there. And I still believe that there is still hope. And there are 7 riders here. One says states witnessing a systematic and premeditated campaign that seeks to install terror and fear on communities. And the next rider says federal government urges media to stop giving information to terrorists, but amplify armed forces havens in. And here it says information space now battlefield, says CDS. Badeni seeks media military synergy. NGF converses peace in Plateau violence. No sane society will turn blind eye to these killings, Tamboa notes. Fear in Otukpo as herdsmen slay scores. Death rises. Mark says attack not accidental. It's just unfortunate that these killings happen intermittently in Benue State, Otukpo. Like I mentioned, Benue State is the food basket of the nation. And with all of these that are happening to farmers, yesterday we read that some of these farmers have to go to their farms, those that are decided not to live in fear, go to the farm with escorts and then they come back, but some who go on their way are being slayed. It's just unfortunate that this is happening at this time. I hope we already have food inflation, so I hope it will not lead to food scarcity. And here we have a picture of the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, and of course, Nuhu Rubado. And it says, workshop on framework for anti-perpetuatory action on counter-terrorism. Hope it yields fruits. Very important. And the next is the Saturday Vanguard. And this says, this isn't leadership, it's a cowardice. And you can find that read. And of course, I am seeing the picture of Peter Obi there. And you can find that read and be well informed on page 29. And here it says, chase away killer herders from our forest farmlands. And it says, monarchs, residents, farmers tell South governors. And you can find that read on page 13 of the Saturday Vanguard. Air Peace suspends Enugu operations, cites safety concerns, Air Peace. And here it says, Nigeria's economy outlook marked by significant uncertainty. And that's the IMF. And you can find that read on page 8. Now, the Star Story there. Rivers emergency rule. I wanted Fubara outright removal. And that is the FCT minister, no other than Nyesom Wike. And the writer says, Tinubu saved him with suspension. PDP not ready for 2027. I won't support the party if, and there is ... Atiku doesn't keep to his words, okay? And of course now there's no hidden agenda now. He has outrightly said it. That's the FCT minister Wike. He says, I wanted Fubara outright removal. Like I mentioned last week, where there was a nightclub where some individuals who were partying came out and says, Wike, please forgive Fubara. So we all know that there's more that meets the eye now. And still on the Saturday Vanguard, it says, why votes may not count in 2027. And that's Buba Galadima. And the writer says most Nigerians are almost giving up. Well, is that true or false? Question I will ask you all. And here's a picture of Rachel Ogbonna. And if you want to know why her picture is out there, you have to go to page 22 of the Saturday Vanguard to go in and check why her picture is there. And then here we have the Weekend Trust. And below the nameplate it says 17 killed in fresh attack in Benue community. Unfortunately, Ochupo is the most hit, unfortunately so. And inside the ticketing racket at Abuja train station, page 12, we see that a lot, but you have to go to page 12 to find out what this is all about on the Weekend Trust. And here it says, but you can read the full story on this particular issue. It's on page 27. It says, today, the Emir of Daura, His Royal Highness Dr. Farouk Umar Farouk Taban's Honorable Hamza Suleiman, the Kastina State Commissioner of Environment, as Sadiqeen Kasir Hausa 1. And the star story is Okar crew, why I kept mute for 35 years, Guadabe. And that's a cartoon picture of him over there. And it says, why peace has eluded Plateau. And here it says, 2 killed, 1 abducted as gunmen attack Kanu Market. Well, you have to go and get yourself a copy of the Weekend Trust on page 26 to know whether the market, what time was it? Was it broad daylight? Was it late at night? To be sure. How NBC ban popularized Idris Abdulkarim's song, Tell Your Papa. And you can find that read on page 22 on the Weekend Trust newspaper. Please go out and get yourself a copy and be well informed. And next we have The Nation Saturday. And above the nameplate it says, Rivers Emergency Declaration saved Fubara from impeachment. And that's Wike, with all authority saying that. Says he opposed Article 2023 because he doesn't keep his words. And that's Wike saying that also. And then still on The Nation, it says, declares PDP unprepared for victory in 2027. And that is Wike now. And here, suspected herders kill 17 in 2 Benue local government areas. And that's the police coming out to say that. You can find that read on page 2. And the writer says, governor announces plan to hold security summit. Very important. And below the nameplate of The Nation newspaper, it says, Easter, Tinubu orders decisive action on security. And you can find that read on page 4. And we have 3 riders. Why Nigerians must remain hopeful by President. And it says here, Tinubu, greatest asset to North's security, says Matawale. Police beef up security in states. Very important. Now, on page 33, you can find the read that says, death penalty awaits kidnappers in Edo, says Okpebolo. And here, there's a picture of Natasha Akpoti, and it says, police investigate attack on Kogi family house. And you can find that read on page 3. And here it says, IMF commends tight monetary policy to lower Nigeria's inflation. And you can find that read on page 10. Police deny Boko Haram arrest in Lagos. So go out and get yourself a copy and be well informed on the issues making rounds on The Nation Saturday newspaper. And then, of course, that's the end of the newspaper review segment on Global Morning Weekend. Let's quickly go on a very quick break, and then we'll hear some of the reports of yesterday is the Friday celebration from our correspondents in Imo and some parts. Stay tuned. Do not go anywhere. It's Global Morning Weekend.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews, latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. You're welcome back from a very quick break, and we're still in the mood of celebration when it comes to the festivity. And like I mentioned, yesterday was Good Friday, and I mentioned to each and every one of us that I will be getting some reports from our correspondents in Owerri. Now, in Owerri, the faithful gathered in their numbers as different churches to reflect on Christ's suffering, sacrifice, and love for humanity. Now, for the Catholic Stations of the Cross to the Anglican Somi Lunacy, it was a day filled with prayers and deep reverence. Now, let's go over to Owerri, the Imo State capital, and listen to one of the reports from our correspondent, Amarachi Ibe. Let's hear her out.
With Easter just around the corner, this vivid display in Abuja has not only told a story, but also stirred hearts, reminding all of the ultimate sacrifice and the hope that comes with the resurrection. It was a solemn yet awe-inspiring scene at Our Lady of the Rose Catholic Church in Garki, where actors took to the stage and streets, recreating the suffering, crucifixion, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. The Passion Play, organized by local churches in collaboration with faith-based organizations, drew spectators from across the Federal Capital Territory. This event was marked by prayers, worship songs, and moments of silence. While speaking with journalists, His Grace Archbishop Ignatius Kaingama reels out the significance of Good Friday and calls on leaders to reflect on the lessons of the season.
The agony he went through, the betrayal he went through, the cruel crucifixion he endured. He was treated like a criminal, and all that he did in order to save us and to redeem. And those the society considered very low. Zacchaeus, a sinner, a tax collector, he associated with him. So he is showing us that leadership should be in. So we call on our leaders to be selfless in doing this. Once you have been chosen or elected or given an appointment, it's for the common good, it's for the service of the people.
Many in attendance described the experience as life-changing.
The significance of Good Friday is a date that death is recognized and life is recognized. Suffering, death, and life. So it's very significant because it tells us towards a clear understanding of what this life is. Life is not about gains. Life is about sacrifice and results.
It is very important to know as a child of God that we that call ourselves a child of God, we need to behave like a child, and we need to live a Christ-like, because Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. So we as the children, we need to behave like him.
Okay, it actually tells what Christ underwent through for my sake, for me as a child of God. If Christ had not gone through this, there wouldn't be Christianity today, and we wouldn't have called ourselves Christian. So to me, it's a time of, like I said, is a time of sober reflection. Let us reflect on our lives, our past, and then seek for forgiveness.
Godwin Sunday, reporting for Global Television News.
Apologies for the mix-up in the report. That particular report happened right here in Abuja, and that was the emotional effect. And it took place at Our Lady of Rose Catholic Church, like I mentioned, right here in Abuja. And that report was from Godwin Sunday. And of course, Amarachi's report will be brought in our subsequent bulletin to see how individuals celebrated the Good Friday yesterday. A lot of celebrations and a lot of myth behind it, where people say do not eat any food that has any protein, that has blood in it, and you just wonder, okay, what's that all about? I guess I will have to get a cleric or a Catholic priest to come up and tell us what is the significance surrounding that. Why Good Friday you must not eat meat, because we know that that's the day of the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. And you just wonder, you say to yourselves, a lot of things that happened during the Good Friday. A lot of people went out in their mass to celebrate. Some went for church celebrations. Some went all out to show love and care. Some even demonstrated the crucifixion of Jesus Christ in some churches, like we just mentioned now. And here, as Christians across Nigeria and the world prepare for the 2025 Easter celebration, now the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Adeolu Egbetokun, has extended his warmest felicitations to the Christian community on the occasion. Now, Egbetokun acknowledged the significance of the celebration, which shape renewal and sacrifice, and encourages Christians to reflect and promote peace, unity, and goodwill in their communities. It's very important that we promote goodwill in various communities to understand that that is the only way forward. It doesn't matter what you're going through. One word from you can actually make a difference to individuals in the society. It doesn't matter what the economy is saying. I always hamper on that. It doesn't matter what you're going through at the moment. Just know that with time, everything is going to be fine, and your worth as an individual, it doesn't matter your religion, your state, where you're from, that kindness that you will give to someone goes a long way at this time. That kindness of giving, of sharing, of saying words of encouragement actually goes a long way. So let's not let's still be hopeful and know that by the grace of God, everything is going to be fine by the grace of God. I always say that because it's very important that we understand and we know that everything is going to be fine. Let's not be depressed about it, but know that virtually everything is going to be fine. And then still on this now, away from the celebration, but we're going to still come back to it now. The fractional chairman of the New Nigerian People's Party, NNPP, El Jibrin Dagowa, has deepened the recent visit to APC National Chairman Abdullahi Ganduje by some members of the party as a deliberate attempt in the best interest of the party. Now, addressing a news conference, Dagowa said the party leadership in Kano is fully aware of the visit of Ganduje by Kawi Somaila-led group. Now, let's go over to Kano State and listen to what Idris Jubair brings in this particular report.
Senator Kawu Sumaila and some other lawmakers from the opposition New Nigeria People's Party in Kano paid a special visit to the national chairman of the APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, a visit that generated concern among party supporters in Kano, but not among the party leadership. According to the chairman, the visit is meant to foster political collaboration between the NNPP and the APC at both state and national level, stressing that it's too early to start speculating.
Going around in the media, outfit, especially in social media, that our children, that is our sons, Senator Kawu Sumaila, Honorable Kabir Al-Asararun, Honorable Alamadaki, Honorable Badamasi Tambata, and Honorable Abdullahi Sanurogo were in APC National Chairman's house. I want to make it clear that at least they went to APC's National Chairman house with our consent. Why we allow them to go is we want them to go and start discussing, because politics is not, politics is about inclusiveness. We want at least to start discussing on way forward.
The party leadership therefore confirms that the Kawu Sumaila-led group visit to Ganduje is fully endorsed by the executive of the party in Kano, bearing in mind the interests of their constituencies.
This politics is about what? It's about game of number. It's about interest. It's about interest. So Kabiru and others, they have their own interest. They have the interest of the people they are representing, and they have the interest of those that the area that equally they are representing. So at least whatever they are discussing, if it is for the good of the people they are representing, if it is for the good of the area they are representing, I think we have the mandate they have our own mandate to pursue those discussions with the APC National Chairman.
While political atmosphere begins heating up in Kano, there are expectations that the El Jibrin-led NNPP may likely decamp to the APC in the near future. From Kano, Idris Jibrin reporting for Global Television News.
Now, still on political parties, let's listen to the All Progressive Congress APC has held a major unity rally in Abuja. Now, signaling renewed political momentum and grassroots consolidation ahead of the upcoming political engagements. Now, this happened at the event. The national chairman of APC, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, emphasized the importance of eternal unity and a straightened grassroots network in securing future electoral victories. Now, let's listen to the report from Sharon Ajay, how she completes the story right now.
The old parade ground in the Federal Capital Territory was the center of political activities as the APC hosted a unity rally attended by party loyalties, stakeholders, and high-profile figures from across the 6 area councils. APC National Chairman Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje says APC stands on the pillars of inclusivity, progressive governance, and grassroots development. He reaffirmed the party's growing influence in the FCT and encouraged continued alignment across political structures.
Who's all these elected councillors? PDP, now they have decided to come to our great party, the APC.
In a welcome address, the APC FCT chairman, Honorable Abdul Malik Usman, commended the courage of the Dikampis and assured them of full integration into the party's structure. Usman says the rally underscores the APC's openness and commitment to inclusive politics. He added that the FCT chapter remains focused on deepening its grassroots reach and preparing for future contests.
He is coming to join us today. Right. But it's not less than 20,000 people across the 12th ward of Abuja Municipal Council. Yes, we also have not less than 10,000 people that are joining us in Buhari Area Council and across other area councils.
The National Vice Chairman of the APC for the North Central Zone, Honorable Alhaji Muhazu Bawa Rijau, called for unity, party discipline, and enhanced participation across all levels. Rijau says internal harmony is essential for sustainable political success. He urged stakeholders to prioritize community engagement and effective mobilization.
This is a clear testimony that we in the FCT, we are ready, we are ever ready for the council election from 2006. The chairman, I will assure you that we are going to give you 6 overseas in the FCT.
The unity rally is seen as a strategic move by the APC to consolidate its position in the nation's capital and reinforce its presence across the North Central geopolitical zone. One of the high points of the rally was the official presentation of new members who recently decamped to the APC. Among them was the executive chairman of Abuja Municipal Area Council, Honorable Christopher Zaka May Kalongo, who pledged loyalty to the party and readiness to contribute to its growth. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you, Sharon, for that report. Now, we all know that sometimes water is a major problem in some parts of Nigeria. Some parts in Abuja, like Karo, for instance, as there has been a major issue when it comes to water, and not just Abuja, but some places from Lagos to Ibadan, a lot of places, a lot of complaints here and there by some people. Now, the 6th African Regional Conference on Irrigation and Drainage was successfully concluded in Abuja, Nigeria, with the theme Tackling Irrigation Development and Water Management Crisis in Africa. I focused on Nigeria because a lot of water issues. You'll be surprised that some water boards are not functional. I will tell you for free because I know some water boards just come with their bills, but water basically in some parts, especially in Abuja, are not functional. Now, this conference brought together experts, policymakers, and shareholders from across the continent to address the pressing challenges in water management and, of course, agricultural sustainability. Now, let's listen to Godwin Sunday's report on this matter.
The Honorable Minister for Agriculture and Rural Development, Mahmoud Abubakar, has called for an urgent need for innovative strategies to transform irrigation system across Africa. He highlighted the continent's challenges, including inadequate infrastructure, financial constraint, and government issues, urging collaborative effort to overcome these barriers.
And number 1 SDG is on poverty. Number 2 is zero hunger. Number 6, clean water and sanitation. Number 13, climate action. When we talk about water scarcity, people have inadequate access to water for irrigation in agricultural zones, which by extension limits food production and thereby exacerbating hunger and malnutrition.
Throughout the conference, participants engaged in technical sections, policy dialogues, and site visits to key irrigation zones across Nigeria. Discussion centered on sustainable agriculture, climate resilience, and enhancing food security. Speaking during the panelist section, Dr. Mike Smith, the Director General of the International Water Management Institute, IWMI, reaffirmed its commitment to supporting smallholder farmers. On the other hand, Dr. Mako Asari, President of ICEED, also pledged its commitment to boost livelihood and strengthen agricultural economies.
Poverty rates in rural areas remain stubbornly high, and one of the things highlighted in this conference is water can really make a difference to progress with that challenge. And in particular, we must think of water and irrigation development in terms of driving transformation through.
Many progress has been made. There are 2 things very quickly, and we can come back upon later. First of all, there's too much discrepancy between the urban areas and the rural areas. Significant increase has been done in the urban areas, peri-urban areas, but so much needs to be done, especially in the rural areas. Second thing, very quickly, we need to have access to data. As it always has been said, you cannot manage what you cannot control.
The patriot of ACID, Dr. Sulaiman Hassan Adamu, the immediate past Minister of Water Resources, thanked all participants and urged them to individualize what has been learnt.
Unfortunately, our efforts, as you well know, to try to get the proper legal backing under a new Consolidated Water Resources Bill didn't yield fruit because some politicians thought it meant something else, and despite all our efforts to make the country educated about what this bill is and what it means to the people of this country, emotions prevailed over common sense.
As the conference concludes, stakeholders express optimism that the resolutions and partnership formed will pave the way for a more sustainable and food security in Africa. Godwin Sunday reporting for.
All right, hope you had an amazing time hearing about water management. Very important, because they say water is life. It's very important that we understand that. And of course, the needful needs to be done when it comes to water management, and let it reach. It's a source for everyone to be reached all over. The impact is amazingly massive. And of course, it's still the continuum of the Easter celebration, and yesterday Good Friday, today Saturday, and Easter proper on Sunday, then Monday, of course, there is a public holiday. But at the same time, remember to live within your means, your budget. Very important. Do not go outside your budget, just within your means, so you have rest of mind and you will not be worried. The most important thing is life. Once there is life, there is hope. Everything is going to be fine. And always remember that no matter what, God will always make a way. This is Easter. It's a time to share. It's a time to show love. It's a time to show warmth. It's a time to encourage someone today. Have an amazing Easter celebration as you prepare for Easter on Sunday, and of course the Monday celebration continues. And just know that everything is going to be fine despite all of the happenings making round when it comes to inflation, when it comes to high cost of living, transportation, electricity, data, fuel. We cannot stop but name them. But at the same time, take a deep breath, relax, and know that everything is going to be fine. Thank you all so much for being a part of me on the program Global Morning Weekend. I am Jumai Manson. Have an amazing day ahead. Keep watching and listening to Global Television on channel 365 on DSTV, channel 276 on StarTimes. And remember, we have a Global TV Nigerian app mobile on your iOS Apple Store or Play Store on your Android phones. Have an amazing day ahead. And from me, bye.
Welcome to Global Morning.
Death toll from flooding.
Most time our politicians just bring in policies too, for sure. Incidentally, we have several more stories.
The legislature was carefully crafted to
22.2% inflation rates as of April this year. What does that say about where we are as a country?
I think Nigeria has resorted to being resilient.
When you call the police station, before they even leave, they take permission from
I don't think there's really anything on ground to improve.
the struggle with the ASU strike.
Minister of Education volunteered and said, give me 2 weeks.
It was a life. The president never gave me any deadline.